So first of all, let's create an array which has numbers from 1 to 4, right? So it's the array. You can have a look at this. So it is 1 2 3 4 over here. Now you can write a for loop first inside over here for I in say x, so that automatically moves the whole code one sequence to the other. And within this I'm writing an if conditional statement for I. I'm cross checking whether it's equal to 2. If it's equal to 2, I'm giving an next command, that means just move out of the loop, right? Or else, right? So print I. So I just want to print the value of I, right? So I do a control enter now. So except for 2, right, for all the other things where it's not matching and it's just coming out, otherwise it just goes out of the loop, and that's why for 2 it doesn't print, and for rest it just prints the value, right? Okay, so now we'll go ahead and have a more detailed view about how you use control structures. Stop and warning statement is also one of the things which we of late we might not use it, but sometimes if you are interested in doing some automation and you want to show something, you might need it. So first you're just saving a n is equal to -8 value, right? And then you're saying that if, right, so you're just passing some value. If your n is less than say 0, right, and you're giving a conditional stop command saying stop if the argument n, I'm just coming over here, n must be numeric. So you're just giving this for display, right? And you're just going to wrap this up with something like this, and over here again you're going to wrap this with a curly brace, right? And just run this whole thing. So it will give you this error, the argument n must be numeric, because I've given that message. If you want, you can just change this to positive, right? So whenever you have a value of n -8, you're just giving this warning statement, right? Similarly, you can print a warning message after the function finishes also, right? So just a repeat of the same. So you're going to say the same thing. If n is less than 8, right, instead of stop, I'm saying over here warning, right? And the argument n must be positive is given as a warning. So when I do this, so it gets executed, and then I get a warning message that the argument n must be positive, right? So this is how you can use stop and warning statements if you need. Now how to make a script in R, right? That's what we'll do. So first let's write a small patch code. For that you need to understand the functionality. So what we want to do is basically present some fractional numbers as percentages, round them up to 1 decimal digit, and this is how we'll achieve it. Firstly, you'll first multiply the fractional number by 100, round the result to 1 decimal place, right? So you can use the round function for that. Paste a percentage sign after the rounded number, right? So you remember the paste function, right? And then you'll print the result, right, which you will achieve with the print function. So we'll write the script first. So what you're going to do is you're going to say x allocation sign, and then you're going to say c, which is basically a vector creation. So you just need some values saved over here, 678 comma 2.9999 and comma 0.765342, right? And just run this. And you're also going to do something like a percent. It's the next step when you're saying round these. So inside you're going to multiply x by 100, and you're saying round it with digits is equal to 2, right? So we'll do that also. So you can see this happening over here, and then you will say result allocation sign is nothing but the paste functionality, and percent comma, which you have already created, and in this you just say join the percent sign and the separator is equal to nothing, right? So result will have the final output, and if you want to see, it's just print result, right? So that's how your percentage should show up. Okay, now you can save the script somewhere and then you can call it if you want, right? So what you can do is you can just save this as a file. So let's do one thing, let's just save this whole thing as a file, and let's keep it on documents because that's the default directory, and I'm saying this to be a paste percent function, right? So it's a .r file which you're saving. You can just have a look where you have saved it. So that should be in downloads. This is the R file, right? Now if you want to just call a file which is somewhere there sitting on the disk, all you need to do is you need to say source, you need to pass the name. So we have saved that as what? We had saved that as paste percent, right? So we can say paste percent dot r. So I'm just going to call this from that location. Okay. Right. So now all these functionalities which are part of that file are getting executed in the background, right? So this is also one thing we can do. So now writing functions in R, proceed further. So we're going to do some functionalities very quickly so that we get some hands-on with the percentage application. So I'm just going to write an adding percent function. The way you write a function is by using the function command, right? And you can give the number of parameters. So in this case you're saying that I want, say for example, one parameter to be passed into this. Okay, let's do one thing, let's not write this over here, let's write this in the code window. So I'm saying adding percent and function. So I'm creating a user defined function in which I'm collecting a value x, and then I'm saying within this what do I want to do. So first I want to collect whatever number is going to come in x, right? I want to do some mathematical operation. So in this case it is the same as what we did for the last case, round x, multiply that with 100, and the number of digits to round is 2. You've seen this, right? And then I want a new variable called output where I'm going to save this. So I'm saying paste, and I'm saying percent, in which you already got the computed values, and paste these two things, and the separator you're going to use is nothing but empty. And finally, when you are working with functions, you have to return something. So you're saying return output, right? That's going to be returned. Now when you run this, okay, that's an error. Let's check for the error first. Object output not found. So just run this again. Oh, I've used a full stop over here, so I have to make this a comma. That's against the syntax. Okay, this time it should run. So when you run this script will run through, but you won't see any output because this you're just creating a user defined function. You'll see this function being created in this tray over here in your environment, adding p. Now if you pass any value over here, right, that's where you actually see the results, right? So that's how a user defined function is defined. So say now I want to call this, so all I have to do is adding percent, so it gets listed over here, and I can say, let me pass something like say 10, right? So it will give me this thing. If I make this as 0.10, so I'm just having a decimal value, I want this converted into percentage value. So I can keep on reusing this, and anybody can share this with me.